They said the girl vanished without a sound. In 1971, during a winter storm in the hill town of Shimla, a student named Sarah Nakvi disappeared from her dorm room at the old convent boarding school. No broken windows, no signs of a struggle, not even footsteps in the fresh snow outside. Just an untouched bed, her clothes neatly folded, and a tall, Victorian mirror standing quietly against the wall. No one ever saw her again. Her name faded from the records. Whispers turned into myths. And the mirror? It stayed exactly where it was. Decades passed. The school was eventually shut down, its halls left to silence and shadows. Years later, the property was sold and transformed into a boutique guest house, charming on the outside, but hollow inside, as though the walls were still waiting to speak. Anaya, a young visual artist from Lahore, arrived at the guest house on a quiet September afternoon. She had come on a solo residency to work on her final thesis, a visual history of old colonial architecture. She didn't believe in ghosts or rumors. Just light, form, and history. But history, as she would soon learn, has a way of pressing itself into the present, especially in places that haven't forgotten. She was assigned room 308, the same room Sarah had once vanished from. It was simple, a bed, a desk, pale green walls, and that tall mirror, still resting between the cupboard and the door. The wood was cracked with age, carved with faded floral motifs. But the glass was perfectly clear. Too clear. The first night passed quietly. The second, less so. While brushing her hair, Anaya caught something in the mirror, a flicker. A shift. Something that felt just off. When she turned, nothing was there. When she looked back, the mirror showed her reflection, but there was a figure at the far edge of the room. Faint. Like a shadow not fully formed. She blinked, and it was gone. She laughed nervously, blaming it on the exhaustion of travel and the high altitude. But that night, she dreamed of a girl standing in front of a mirror, whispering words she couldn't understand, over and over, like a chant. By the fourth night, the figure in the mirror was no longer faint. It was always the same girl, back turned, standing at the window, unmoving. Anaya began to notice small things, her own reflection blinking slightly out of sync, or smiling subtly when she wasn't. She tried to talk herself out of it. It's just my mind playing tricks, she told herself. But her mind wasn't writing on the glass. One morning, as the mirror fogged with steam after her shower, she saw a message appear, slowly, as if written by invisible fingers. Do you see her now? Anaya wiped it away immediately, heart racing, but the letters remained etched in her memory. That afternoon, she went to the caretaker, an old man who had worked at the building even during its school days. When she brought up the mirror, his eyes dropped. Room 308, he said slowly. You know, they used to say there was a girl. She claimed the mirror showed her things. Showed her what people wouldn't believe. She started writing strange letters, saying the mirror had a voice. They thought she was unstable. And then, she was gone. No trace? Anaya asked. None, he said. Except for the mirror. That thing never left. That night, the dream came again, clearer. The girl was speaking now. Crying. Whispering something Anaya could finally make out. He said I lied. But mirrors don't lie. People do. The next morning, Anaya found a single page slipped under her door. It was old, yellowed, and fragile, a piece of lined paper torn from a notebook. Written in careful, neat Urdu were the words, if you're reading this, then it means the mirror chose you. Don't trust what it shows. It doesn't lie, but it doesn't forgive. It shows what is buried. What we hide even from ourselves. At the bottom was a name. Sarah. Anaya's hands trembled as she folded the page. Her breathing was shallow. The walls felt smaller. Tighter. The mirror stood quietly behind her, like it was waiting. She tried to cover it with a shawl, but nothing stayed. Everything slipped off, fell, or was somehow found crumpled on the floor the next morning. The next night, she stood in front of it for the first time willingly. The reflection was almost normal. Almost. Except now, the girl in the background was turned halfway, her face half visible. Her eyes were dark, not with color, but with knowing. She wasn't staring at Anaya. She was staring through her. The reflection moved. Anaya didn't. The girl in the mirror smiled. Anaya ran. She packed her bags, left a note for the staff, and didn't even look back as she shut the door to room 308. But as she turned to leave, she saw her reflection in a hallway mirror, not the one from the room. A different one. She was still standing inside the room, smiling, not blinking. Her real body froze. Her reflection slowly lifted a hand and waved. The guest house remains open. Room 308 is now permanently locked. They say it's being renovated, but no one ever goes inside. Guests sometimes mention strange chills in the hallways. Some say they see a girl standing in the window upstairs, always in the mirror, never in the room. As for Anaya, no one heard from her again. But her journal, unfinished, was found in the room. Her last entry simply read,